English Learning Podcast.
From Easy English with Class.
Okay, picture this scenario. And I think it's a situation we've all been in, whether we're learning a new language or just, having an off day.
Oh, for sure.
You're in a group of people, maybe at a party, maybe a coffee break at work, you're feeling good, confidence is high, and you decide, I'm going to tell that funny story about yesterday.
It's the moment of truth. You're stepping into the spotlight.
Exactly. And you launch in, you say, yesterday I go to the store, and for about 3 seconds, you feel great. But then halfway through, the wheels they start coming off. You realize you're rambling. You're thinking, wait, did I say go or went? Is this now or yesterday?
And that's when the panic sets in.
The panic is so real. You start backtracking. You look over at your listener, and they have that polite, slightly confused look on their face.
Or the glaze.
The glaze. They're not laughing. They're not nodding. They've stopped listening to your story, and they're just trying to decode you. And you just kind of fade out.
Right.
And, that was it.
That is the absolute stuff of nightmares for language learners. That precise moment where the cognitive load just becomes too much. You can feel the room get colder.
It's so painful. And the worst part is you walk away feeling like, oh, I don't know the language. Or even worse, I'm boring. My personality didn't come through.
Right.
But today we are going to fight that script. We're diving into this really fascinating guide from Easy English with Class that argues the problem isn't your vocabulary, it's not your grammar, and it is definitely not that your life is boring.
No, the problem is much, much simpler and thankfully a lot easier to fix. The problem is order.
Order. I like that. That sounds manageable.
Right. The whole premise we're exploring today is that storytelling isn't some kind of magic. We think of great storytellers as just, naturally charismatic.
Born with it.
Exactly. But this source, it breaks it down into a structure. It's more like engineering, really. It's a mechanism you can build piece by piece.
I love the idea of engineering charisma. If we can build it, we can master it. So what's our mission for this deep dive?
Our mission is to unpack a very specific map from the source. It's an acronym called SPARF. We're going to look at the grammar of background versus action, which is way simpler than it sounds, and the exact signpost words that keep your listener from getting lost.
SPARF. Okay, it sounds like a secret agent code. But before we get to the solution, let's just sit with the struggle for a minute more. Why is it so incredibly hard to just say what happened?
It all comes down to cognitive overload. I mean, think about it. In your native language, the structure is automatic. You don't think about past tense.
Right, it just comes out.
It just happens. The timeline is already in your head. But in the second language, you're basically a one-person band. You're juggling vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and trying to remember the actual story.
It's like trying to juggle flaming torches while riding a unicycle.
On a tightrope. And giving directions to a tourist at the same time. It's just too much for your brain's working memory, so something has to give. And usually it's the story's structure.
The source actually lists the symptoms of this overload, and reading them, I was like, yep, done that one too. It's a whole list of storytelling fails. First up, the tense trap.
The classic.
The classic, yesterday I go instead of yesterday I went.
Which is so interesting because people still understand you conceptually, but it kind of jars the listener's brain.
Yeah.
You have to mentally autocorrect you as you speak.
It's like watching a movie where the audio is just a fraction of a second out of sync. You can follow it, but it's annoying.
That is a perfect analogy. Yeah.
Okay, then there's the jumper, the person who messes up the timeline. Then I bought the milk. Oh, wait, before that I saw my friend. Wait, no, I didn't have my wallet yet.
That is fatal for a story. Absolutely fatal. Once you lose the timeline, your listener stops enjoying the plot and they switch into like detective mode. They're trying to solve the puzzle of when this is all happening.
You've given them homework instead of entertainment.
Exactly. No one wants homework at a dinner party.
Then we have my personal favorite, or maybe least favorite, the over-describer.
Oh, I know this one.
I was wearing my blue shoes, not the red ones, because the arch support is better, and I heard this song on the radio. It was an old song.
And the whole time, the listener's thinking, does the shoe color matter? Is the arch support a major plot point? Am I going to be quizzed on this later?
And it never, ever matters. It's just filler because the speaker is nervous.
Precisely. And finally, the source brings up the never-ending movie, the story that just stops.
No conclusion. Just, so, yeah, that happened.
And the goal here, which the source makes very clear, is that a good story doesn't need to be long. It just needs to be clear. And clarity just means the listener can follow the path you're laying out.
So let's give them the map. The source introduces this acronym, SPARF. This is the cheat code we've been waiting for. Break it down.
This is the blueprint. SPARFS is for situation. This is your context. Where were you? When was it? You have to ground the listener right away.
Okay, so like last week, I was at the grocery store.
Perfect. We're anchored in time and space. We know the setting. Next, P is for problem. Every good story needs a problem. Something went wrong. Otherwise, it's not a story. It's just a list of facts.
I realized I left my wallet in the car.
Boom. Tension. I'm listening now. I want to know what happens next.
Yeah.
Which brings us to A, for action. What did you do about it?
I ran out to the parking lot.
Okay. And then R is for result. What was the outcome of your action?
My car was locked and the keys were inside.
Oh, no. A mini tragedy. I love it. And finally, F is for feeling or lesson. This is the takeaway. It's the bow on top that tells the listener the story is over now.
I felt like a total idiot.
And there it is. A complete, coherent story. 5 beats. Situation, problem, action, result, feeling.
It's so simple when you lay it out like that. It just forces you to have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
It really does. It prevents the rambling because you know exactly where you have to go next. You can't get stuck describing the shoes if you know you have to get to the problem right away. It's a constraint, but it's a helpful one.
So we have the map, but now we need to talk about how to actually drive the car, right? The mechanics. The source calls them sequencing words.
These are your road signs. They tell the listener, okay, we're moving forward, or we're getting to the good part. The basic ones are obvious. First, then, after that, finally.
But those can sound a little robotic, like you're reading a recipe. First, I woke up, then I brushed my teeth.
Right, it's very textbook English. We want storyteller English. So instead of just first, you can use at first. It's subtle, but at first sets up a contrast. At first, I thought everything was fine. It hints that something is about to change.
I see. It foreshadows the P in SPARF, the problem. And for that part, I love the word suddenly.
Suddenly is the ultimate pivot word. It wakes the listener right up. It says, okay, here comes the drama. And for the result, the source highlights luckily and unluckily.
Those are great because they pack in so much meaning.
They do double duty. They tell you what happened and how you should feel about it. If you say, luckily I found it, you're also saying, I was relieved. 2 for the price of 1. It's efficient.
And for the end. Instead of the very formal finally.
In the end, it's just more conversational. In the end, we just took a taxi.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're talking to a friend.
Now, there's one specific phrase the source mentions for starting a story that I think is just a golden key for learners.
One time.
One time, yes.
It's magical. It's a perfect signal to everyone listening. I'm about to tell a personal story. Stop what you're doing and listen. Sets the stage perfectly.
Okay, let's talk about the big scary thing. Tenses. I'm telling a story about the past. Do I need to know, the past, perfect, continuous, subjunctive, pluperfect, whatever? No, absolutely not. Please, put the grammar book away. The source argues you really only need 2 tenses to tell 90% of your stories. They call it the grammar duo. Okay, let's break them down because I think people overcomplicate this.
So first, you have the past simple. This is for your main actions. I went, I saw, I met, I forgot. These move the plot. They're like the snapshots in a photo album. Click, click, click.
Okay. I went to the store. Action. I saw a dog. Action. Got it.
Exactly. But a story needs context. And that's where the past continuous comes in. I was walking, she was driving, the sun was shining. This sets the scene. It's what was happening around the main action.
So if past simple is the snapshot, past continuous is like the video playing in the background.
That is a great way to put it, yes.
Yep.
The scenery versus the event. And the source gives us a classic formula that combines them. I was doing a background thing when the main thing happened.
I was walking home when I saw an old friend.
Perfect. I was cooking dinner when the power went out. The cooking is your situation. The power outage is your problem.
Wow. It creates instant tension. I was sleeping when the phone rang. You immediately want to know who was on the phone.
And notice, you don't need complicated grammar. Just was doing and did. If you master that one combination, you can tell almost any story you want.
Okay, so we've got the SPARF structure, the road signs, the 2 tenses. That makes a story clear. But how do we make a clear story, actually? Interesting. Because I was walking and I fell is clear, but it's not very exciting.
True. Clarity is the foundation. Engagement is the house you build on top. And the source has 4 interest factors that don't require you to learn a bunch of advanced vocabulary.
The first one seems almost too simple. Feelings.
It seems obvious, but learners often just stick to the facts because facts feel safe. I lost my phone. I found my phone. By just adding, I felt so nervous or I was so relieved, You make the story human, the listener connects with you.
The second one is sensory details, but the source gives a really specific warning here, right? Don't overdo it.
Yes, this is key. Don't become the overdescriber. Just add one small detail. It was freezing outside. The place was really noisy. The coffee smelled amazing. Just one thing to ground the listener in the physical reality of the story.
Just one. I like that rule. Okay, number 3, quotes.
This is so powerful. Instead of using grammatically difficult reported speech like, he asked me if I was okay, just use a direct quote. My friend said, "Are you okay?" It brings the characters to life. It breaks up the narration.
And the fourth one is that pivot we mentioned earlier, the word suddenly.
Right. It acts like a camera zoom. It tells the listener, pay attention. This is the important part. It creates some dynamic range in your story, so it's not all one flat tone.
Let's put this all together. The source reconstructs a lost phone story to show how all these little pieces work together. Let's walk through it.
Okay, mapping it to SPARF.
One time, I was leaving a cafe. There's your past continuous, setting the scene.
Suddenly, I realized I didn't have my phone. And there's our pivot word.
Okay, then we add the feeling.
I felt nervous. Human connection.
So I ran back inside and asked the staff 2 quick, past simple actions.
Luckily, it was on the table. Luckily for the win.
In the end, I felt relieved.
And that's it. That's a solid story. It's not epic. It's just a lost phone. But because it has that structure and those little interest factors, it completely works.
And it's what, 6 sentences long? You don't need 5 minutes. You need 30 seconds of clarity.
Yeah, even with the best map, things can still go wrong. The source flags some common mistakes to watch out for.
A big one is forgetting the time words right at the start. You have to anchor the listener, say, yesterday or last week or one time. It's like a handshake before you start talking.
And then violating the SPARF simplicity. Too many details.
Yes. If you find yourself explaining the entire backstory of the cafe, just stop. Stick to the SPARF skeleton. Cut the fat.
And the no-ending crime. Just leaving the story hanging.
You always have a sign-off.
Yeah.
In the end, it was fine. It closes the loop. It lets the listener know they can relax and laugh now.
But here's maybe the most practical tip in the whole thing, the emergency repair. What do you do when you're mid-story and your mind just goes blank? You forget a word.
The source gives the best advice here. Don't stop. Silence is awkward. Instead, you use what they call repair phrases.
Things like, how do you say?
Or, it's like. And then you describe it. Or even, let me say it in a simple way. And these phrases actually make you sound more fluent, not less.
Really? You think admitting you forgot a word makes you sound better?
Yes, because you're managing the conversation like a pro. You aren't crumbling under pressure. You're navigating a problem. If you say, I forgot the word, but it's the thing you use for a door, and they say, a key, you've just created a connection. You kept the flow.
You're not crashing the car. You're just taking a slight detour.
Exactly. It shows confidence. Fluency isn't about knowing every single word. It's about how you handle the gaps when you don't.
That's a huge mindset shift. The source wraps up with this thing called the comment challenge, asking learners to write a 6-sentence story using only the SPARF structure.
Which is such a brilliant exercise. It forces you to be disciplined. You can't ramble if you only have 6 sentences. You have to hit every single beat. It trains your brain to think that way.
It's like a haiku for storytelling.
A narrative haiku. I like that.
So let's tie this all together. We started with the nightmare of that rambling, confusing story. But the solution isn't to memorize the entire dictionary.
No. The solution is structure. SPARF is your safety net. When you have that structure, your brain is freed up. You can focus on your pronunciation or adding that one little detail or getting the emotion right.
It's the skeleton that holds the whole body up. Otherwise, you're just a blob of words on the floor.
And the core philosophy here, the big takeaway, is that a great story isn't about perfect English. It is about clear English. A listener will forgive a grammar mistake. They'll probably forgive a pronunciation error. They will not forgive being confused.
That is such a liberating idea. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be clear.
Clarity is kindness to your listener.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. We all have little things happen to us every single day. The next time something happens, you spill coffee on your shirt, you see a weird dog, can you instantly map it to SPARF in your head?
Can you edit your life in real time?
Exactly. Before you even open your mouth to tell someone, can you just go? Situation, office, problem, spill, action, cleanup, result, stain, feeling, embarrassed. If you can do that mental prep, you may never ramble again.
And you'll probably find that your life is full of a lot more interesting stories than you thought.
Thanks for diving in with us today. Go out there and tell some clear, structured SPARF-tastic stories.
See you next time.